Hey everybody, Super K here. Today we are going to be talking about something that is really recent and that I've heard a lot of. We are going to be talking about online learning and distance learning. And so for those of you who are living in California, which according to what YouTube shows me, a lot of you live in California. Recently the governor has stated that there's going to be a shift to distance learning, online learning, whatever you want to call it, computer-based learning for the first part of the year. So from fall to at any point until they tell us that, you know, kids can go back to school and that it's safe for them to do so, there's going to be online learning. So why am I talking about this? What makes me, I'm not an expert in it, but what makes me someone that can talk about this? And the answer is I have been doing online learning now for almost 3 years. So I'll share a little bit about my experience doing online learning. I go to Pepperdine for my master's program, and that is purely online aside from my clinical experience hours. So that experience, doing Zoom classrooms, we've had transitions. So we've done, it was called Adobe Connect, then we did Zoom. So I'll go through a little bit about how I functioned throughout my online learning, through distance education, and then I'll give some tips, tricks, things that have worked for me. This video is for parents, it's for kids. You know, this is also for college students that, you know, they're leaving high school and now they're going into their undergraduate career and there is no longer in-person classes offered. And it can be a really daunting task. I'm here to quell some of those fears that you might be having. So let's get started. So first, one thing that I really recommend with having any form of online learning is having a space that you can focus on your work. This is your spot. It can be a desk. Now at your desk, you want to make sure that's free of clutter. You want to find your desk, clean it off. If you have a laptop, set the laptop on the desk. You want, you know, add a plant. Put a snack on your desk. So those are some tips to get your workspace fixed up. I'm gonna be honest, I don't usually use a workspace. You have to do what works for you. I am the type of person where I have a lot of things going on around me. So typically I'm sitting on the couch with Oakley. I have a blanket on, I have the TV on in the background. I'm listening and I'm writing on my iPad, but that works for me. So whatever works for you, you know, if it's sitting on your bed and listening to lectures. Now, of course, if you're a high school student, an elementary school student, you know, parents, if you're watching this, follow the regulations of what the school says, and, you know, follow those guidelines. Pepperdine, you know, we are all adults, and so our instructors give us some grace in doing what we need to get through our classes. Number two is really finding a pattern. Now, we don't know what the format is going to look like for a lot of schools, especially, you know, the K through 12 grades. Is it going to be asynchronous? So that is, the child will be watching videos and you know, everything is going to be module based. So they're not really attending a live session. They're watching videos as they go. So with those kind of things, there's a technique called the Pomodoro technique, where a kid can, or anyone, really, this works for everybody, writing an essay, anything, but you space it out. So, okay, I'm gonna watch 2 videos, and then I'm going to stand up and walk around. Now this actually helps the brain to not be burnt out. and it's actually really helpful, especially for kiddos that have ADHD, ADD, and they have really hard time focusing for extended period of time. So that's something I recommend. Again, I'm not the expert in Pomodoro. There's apps called Pomodoro Timer, not sponsored, but look it up if that's something you're interested in. Third, this is for parents. If you are a college student and you're like, whatever, I do not need my parents to have advice, then skip this part. But for parents of elementary school kids and K through 12 kids, just in general, it can be really daunting. How does this fit in with your work? How are you supposed to now be in charge of a kid that you have to homeschool them, and you have your own career? And the only piece of advice that I can give you is communicate with your employer. You're not in this alone. A lot of people are going through the same thing as you. And so petitioning for possibly doing remote work is a great option if that's available to you. We'll find things out as this evolves. This is a fluid situation, but through these actions, we're going to get through this. And coming from someone who's done online learning, at first I was very, very scared about it. I didn't know how I was going to do because I have major focus problems. Like even right now, I picked up a pen. I'm playing with a pen, and the ability to pause my videos that I'm watching for school and be able to take a second, take Oakley for a walk, and do them at my own pace has really been freeing. And so it's something to look forward to, that kids can get stuff done at their own pace, and they're not going to either be rushed too quickly. Now there is a pacing schedule where things will have to be done throughout the week, but it will give them time to really focus, take the time that they need, not get frustrated. I think that something we'll see with this is that there's going to be a decrease in anxiety with a lot of kids, and I think it has potential benefits for a lot of kids. My experience has been really positive throughout my undergrad. I wasn't the best student. I definitely struggled. And so when I made the switch to my master's into distance learning and online learning, even at the master's level, being able to do things on my own pace, and if I had free time to get ahead and do a week ahead, has really helped me. And actually my grades went up a lot. And I think that's what we're gonna see is kids will be able to unplug without the distractions of other kids in their class. Now there's the sibling thing too and stuff that is going on in our house. And this is me talking about a perfect scenario where a kid can unplug, put some headphones in, and do their work on their own. But I think that the benefit of this definitely outweighs the potential side effects or that a lot of people are talking about. There's going to be resources, or I hope there's going to be resources for parents. I do realize that that's a very real thing that a lot of parents are trepidatious about, big word, of how am I going to support my family. If you're a single parent and you rely on being able to work, that is something that is really scary. Rely on your village. I know it's easier said than done, but if there is any consolation, I think that this is going to be something that benefits the kids in the long run, so that we can jumpstart getting ahead of this thing. And people have been homeschooling their kids for a really long time, and I think that this is it's something that I've enjoyed. I think it's something that will be good for kids. And before we go, as always, I promised some awesome Oakley videos, or Oakley pieces in this. Remember to subscribe, thumbs up, like, comment, share, and I will see you soon. Hopefully doing another video this week about stress. It's something I've noticed a lot in my clients and just in general. There's just this overarching theme of stress and what's going on. So I will see you all later, and have a great day.